On this Transgender Day of Remembrance, we're taking some time to honor those lost and discuss the ongoing issues facing the transgender community locally and across the country. A new report from the Human Rights Campaign shows that since November 21st, 2022, at least 33 transgender and gender nonconforming people have been killed in the U.S. The losses coming as the anti-LGBTQ hate crimes are rising in the U.S. now over 20%. And data from the FBI finding at least 4% of all hate crimes in 2022 targeted people for their gender identity. Findings from a study released over the summer shining a light on another weight facing those in the transgender community. The Williams Institute at UCLA School of Law found that 81% of transgender adults in the U.S. have thought about suicide. The battle to prevent further loss and shore up support for those within the trans community come amid efforts to grieve and remember the lives lost. A ceremony set to begin in just under an hour in San Francisco. People will gather on the steps of City Hall ahead of a march through the city to the SF LGBT Center, where an evening of remembrance will be held later this evening. To speak to us about the importance of this day and tonight's event, we're joined by Janelle Luster, Employment Services Specialist at the SF LGBT Center. Thanks so much for joining us, Janelle. Let me start with this. President Biden marked today and said we must never be silent in the face of hate. How important is that message on this day of remembrance?
Thank you so much. I think it's important to hear that because the violence is happening every day. And if you see something, you must say something. If you don't say anything, you are aiding in it. And you're just as guilty as the people that are causing the harm to trans people. And so we can never be silent when we see stuff happening to our community.
Yeah, an important message today. Janelle, this 33 lives lost number that we just read, that is likely an undercount. And we also know nearly 2/3 of those victims were Black trans women. How critical is it to support the trans people of color?
It's really critical to support trans people of color and to support all trans people, but particularly trans people of color. Trans people of color are marginalized in so many different ways, and we face violence in different aspects, not just physical violence. And so it's really important that we band together and advocate for safety for trans people. Here in San Francisco, we try to do that. We try to have safe havens. We do have safe havens, the different organizations, and things of that nature. And as you mentioned earlier, we have that march happening. So it's really important that we come together for all trans people.
Yeah. Janelle, for the first time in more than 40 years, the HRC declared a national state of emergency, citing the more than 500 anti-LGBTQ bills making their way through state legislatures throughout our country. Can you speak to how the San Francisco community is standing with those vulnerable communities across the country?
Yes, San Francisco has always been a sanctuary city for LGBTQ folks, and there are many different efforts in which the city and county is looking to support trans people with new housing initiatives and new employment opportunities for trans people. That's just the beginning of ways that the city is here trying to create a safe space, a more safe space, and opening our doors to our trans folks across the country to come here seeking refuge.
Yeah, Janelle, we're seeing the city do the work, but on that note, what more can California lawmakers and federal lawmakers, the White House, what can President Biden do to further protect the trans community here?
I believe that people can continue to bring visibility, shine visibility on the trans community. Trans people are just like everyone else. We live regular lives. And so the attack on our lives is super crucial to our safety. And so we just need more folks to band together, advocate for us, show more love, more support, and stop the hate.
Yeah, an important message. Janelle, tell us a little bit more about the Remembrance ceremony tonight, what you hope people feel when they attend.
Yes, the Remembrance, there are two happening. I'm an East Bay girl, so I'm in Oakland, but there is the march that is happening in San Francisco that will then lead people to the SF LGBT Center where I currently work. I'm hoping that people are able to attend the march and able to show solidarity for trans people, remembering to name the trans people out loud. That's how we keep our folks with us. There's also another Trans Day of Remembrance that the Oakland LGBT Center is putting on today at the Humanist Hall. And just this is a time to honor and remember the folks that we have lost, but also to champion and to continue pushing forward with the folks that we still have here doing the work. So I'm hoping to see people out in great numbers at both events tonight.
Yeah, and Janelle, we want to be clear here. This march and ceremony in both the East Bay and San Francisco, they are for everyone. How important is it for you to see allies stand with you tonight and beyond tonight?
It's important to see allies. As we know, trans people have been doing the work forever. We have been doing the work to bring visibility to our community, to the different issues and stuff that we face. And so having allies support that message just amplifies, it humanizes our experience, and it helps spread the word. And so when we have more folks come out, families and stuff like that, it just shows greater support. And it only takes one person to get us there. So we all have to do our part.
Yeah, Janelle, before the segment, you heard some of those numbers, those tough numbers to hear about suicide ideation and the trans community struggling. For people that are watching right now and watching you, what would be your message of support and community to anyone that is transgender or gender nonconforming?
I would just let all my community know that you're not alone, that there are many different resources that are out there for you when you are having a tough time. We all struggle with different mental health issues, and the weight of the world adds to that. And so reach out for support. If folks are seeing that they have trans people in their family, support them. Let them know that you love them and you support them and you're not judging them. Oftentimes, that's all people really need to keep going. And so, yeah, spread more love.
Yeah, an incredibly important message on this Transgender Day of Remembrance. Janelle Luster, thanks so much for joining us. We wish you luck with tonight's event.
Thank you so much. Happy TDOR.
Yeah, and before we go to break, we leave you, as you heard Janelle say, with the names of the 33 transgender and gender non-conforming people killed in the last 12 months. May we remember their lives.